this project has taken a long time to develop, and I guess all parties have been very patient.
Yes.
I would be interested to get your view on what you think the potential of this project is. First, as a mineral deposit, but also, more importantly, what stimulation it would provide to the economy in Moresby province and to the national economy.
We believe that the Wafi-Golpu project is the economy changer for PNG, and the escalation effect of Wafi-Golpu will be like no other project that's seen, even in the oil and gas side, because the footprint of the oil and gas is smaller than the mining. And we believe that this will be a huge game changer for the economy of Papua New Guinea. Yes. It's a quality project. It's one of the best undeveloped deposits in the world. And so we are excited about it. Block caving, we need to go in there and start mining using the block cave. And then beyond that, it's like the confidence level sort of dramatically rises once we test the block caving method of mining out in there.
Which will be a first for Papua New Guinea, I understand.
Will be a first of Papua New Guinea, yes. And so, in terms of the economy, the impact is so wide. The Moresby province the economy will boost, like the local communities impact, the national content plan, buying agricultural goods from surrounding communities, the highlands provinces. There's a new road that comes off Nadzap, the northern access road, and sort of that opens up supply from the highlands as well as supply from Moresby province. But in terms of its impact, Moresby province, it'll be huge. The escalation factor will be much more than any other project.
Once you get to FID on this project, what role will Kumul Minerals play in shepherding the project to completion?
Well, like we did at Porgera, we played a major role in sort of making sure that the end bit of government interaction and the landowner interaction, even the political side of it is smooth. And so that, where there are misunderstandings between the developer and then our side, then we come in and we play a role in sort of smoothing that out and making sure things are running smoothly. Like the end bid of Porgera, we played a major role in sort of concluding the deal, getting the SML granted, making sure the conditions are not contradicting the agreements we have signed. And so we played a major role in that, and we expect to play the same role here in the Wafi.
And is it still the case that you're expecting to take the full allocation of your buy-in into the project?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
And will that be an investment for you, or would it be a free carry arrangement?
No, in Wafi, our discussions at the moment is each participator comes with their own financing.
Right.
And so the discussion of incorporate joint venture with that structure versus the UJV, we are now at this particular point in time, we haven't concluded, but we are in like an enhanced IJV. And the final structure of that will be determined over these few days. And we will know exactly where, what is the final structure. But we expect to fully exercise our 20%, and the landowner, provincial government's 10% will be carried both by Wafi and by Kumul.
Okay,
so they'll be carried.
Yeah.
We'll share that, but Kumul, we expect to exercise the full 20% on behalf of the state. Yeah.
So if you were a betting man, what sort of time frame are we looking at to execute a special mining lease? What would you like to see? What is reasonable to expect?
Well, if we conclude like next week, on the day that we sign the MDC, I would like the SML granted on that day.
Right. So we could be looking concluded by Christmas.
Well, we are in the space now.
Okay.
So it's like from last week to this week, I think we have moved, we have made some great moves. And I think the the understanding is there for us to conclude, and I think the level of cooperation is now there, and I'm sure that we will conclude very shortly on that MDC, and then the SML will be granted.
That's very exciting. I wanted to ask you about a couple of other projects in your portfolio. First of all, Porgera. There were expectations that production would be ramping up at this stage, but that's not been the case. What's the latest on Porgera?
No, the production has ramped up.
It has, okay.
On the 3rd of June, we achieved what we call the commencement date.
Yeah.
The commencement date is that we have achieved an annualized mill throughput of 5 million tons per annum,
Right.
for at least 30 days. So we have achieved that. So from the 3rd of June 2024, all Barrick New Guinea costs have ceased, and Porgera has taken over the cost as operating costs.
Right.
And so our audits will come to that 3rd of June 2024. Unfortunately, we had on the 11th of October, we had a stoppage of work due to the landslip at Mulitaka.
Yes.
And so we were working to clear out that area, make some compensations, and restore normal operations. We made some progress. The landowners came, stopped it again. We had issues with trying to get fuel and essentials across. We were pumping fuel. We had an air bridge getting critical supplies across on the other side, and we have trucks coming in here and trucks going out there, and we had but dealing with the landowners is always a very big challenge.
Yes.
And they kept stopping us being able to do that, and so we eventually ran out of fuel.
Right.
And we had to suspend operations. Right? On the 28th of October, we managed to get some agreements in place, and we started pumping fuel again. But it takes a while to ramp up the stocks of fuel for us to be able to maintain continuous production.
Those, particularly, it's the autoclaves, I think that.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so from the 11th of October to 28th, you can see that there was a big gap of non-production, and we were losing about 10 million kina a day on that one. And so from our hit the ground running start, it came to an abrupt halt, and now from 28th of October, we are starting to get back up again.
Okay.
And so, yeah. So that's...
So do you foresee, I understand that the law and order situation there is complex, that there are a number of issues related, some related to the mine and some not related to the mine at all.
Yeah.
What do you feel is the solution to those law and order
the solution
challenges?
The solution is leadership.
Yep.
Leadership must be present on the ground. Otherwise, we are just going to and fro and wasting resources.
Yes.
And if the leaders of the land, get back there, stay on the ground, talk to their people, guide their people, we will see the situation improve. The government and the army and the police, not effective.
No.
You see, they were breaking our fuel lines, having big containers on the side. They were filling those containers and selling in little batches, and the police and the army. Don't put this.
Very entrepreneurial. Very entrepreneurial.
Yeah. And so the law and order situation it's like complex is an understatement.
Yes.
It is a whole new, totally unseen law and order outbreak, violence.
Yeah.
It has never been seen
Yeah.
at this level anywhere in PNG before.
So an unusual combination of factors. So how confident are you that the mine will to return to the targeted production, and how soon do you think that will be?
We are getting back to our targeted production, and I think I'll have to check that, but I'm sure we are almost there, if not already.
Because of course that the product from the mine is so important to PNG's economy as well.
It started making an impact,
Yes.
and suddenly so it's extremely important. Porgera production is extremely important to PNG at this point in time.
Yes. Next question is about the Ok Tedi mine.
Yeah.
And I think the last time we spoke in detail, maybe in this room even, or actually in your office, we were talking about the expansion or the extension of the life of Ok Tedi.
Ok Tedi, yeah.
Which must be very exciting because a lot of people are expecting it to be closed by now.
That's correct.
Yeah. So, how is the progress going with the redevelopment of the mine or the expansion of the mine? And have we had any more news on that front?
Yes, we have bedded down on what we need to do to make sure that the expansion is sustainable.
Yes.
And it can be maintained to the. And we have identified some core projects that we need to do now, and because understanding that the infrastructure has aged, that's the first thing we have started is to upgrade the aging infrastructure, especially in the milling,
yes,
and also the mining fleet as well. So that has progressed very well. So apart from operating improvements, which we have achieved significantly, the commodity prices has helped a lot in us achieving well beyond our projected targets. So I think by in August this year, we sort of went over our annual budgeted profit.
Wow.
level. So we are operating well above that.
So 4 months early,
Yes.
effectively. Wow.
Yeah, so we are operating well above our budgeted profit target.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point in time, our operating costs are good. Our challenges are in sales. We have some challenges there, and it's like maintaining our stock between production, between mining, getting to Kiunga, getting to our silo vessel here, and then getting exported. So that area has been challenging at this point in
So
time.
the logistics of it or the actual marketing itself?
From here, the logistics of it. Yeah.
It's interesting to observe that major resource companies around the world, particularly those that have been involved in gold, are looking at copper
Yes.
as an opportunity. And you have a successful operational mine. It's the longest operational mine in the country. How dependent is the extension of the mine life on you finding additional reserves within the lease area or even outside the lease area?
At the moment, the Vision 2050 is based on what we have
Right.
within the SML, not taking in place anything that is outside of the SML. So finding something outside of the SML is highly, it's a highly prospective area, so we are confident that we will keep finding additional resources outside of the SML, but the 2050 vision is based mainly on the current boundaries of the SML.
Okay.
And we are drilling within that boundary.
Okay.
And we are looking at deep-seated ore bodies below our current modeled ore body at Ok Tedi.
So I guess you're looking there. I imagine most of the surface reserves have been dealt with.
Yes.
So you're pretty confident that there's more underneath at a deeper level?
Yes, very confident. And we are already seeing some good results coming up from that. And so over the next year, I think we will see some very good outcomes of the drilling program we have within the SML area.
I want to talk a little bit about some of the other projects you might be involved in that maybe we haven't had a look at yet. What other things are on the agenda apart from your existing assets?
Well, we have started engaging with PENOST on the Frida River.
Yes.
So those discussions are slower than we hoped, but we will keep engaging with them. We have started discussions on the Yandra as well. Yandra.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yandra. And Mambare. Mambare is a good quality nickel cobalt project.
Okay.
So we have started all those discussions. Some somewhat in an advanced manner. So those are, other projects we have started engaging on, I cannot really mention, but we are well advanced in, probably in Sydney, we will be doing some sort of announcements.
Okay. Yes.
But I cannot mention those projects because they, they have to take it to their board, they are publicly listed, all these things,
Right. I think last time we did, we had a long chat together. You were talking about some of the stranded assets around the country. We have projects like Woodlark, which seem to be stalled. What potential is there for you to be a catalyst for getting some of those projects going again?
Yeah, Andrew, that's right. We are a catalyst to getting those projects going again. In terms of, having the good image from financing going out to the markets, I think we bring in a de-risking factor, and being partnering with Kumul, the national mining company, will make it look good for those tenement holders.
Yes.
Now, we are driving what we call, and the regional consolidation strategy. For those stranded projects, say in Milne Bay, some of them are good quality, some very good grades, high grades for open pitable ore.
Yes.
But they are too small to be developed on their own. And so ours is to build a central processing facility, and then we bring in ore from these stranded prospects.
Yes.
And if you look at Milne Bay and understanding what we have around, you can easily go over 500,000 ounces of production per year.
Wow.
And then if you look at Porgera, where we have 36%, 500,000 ounces is much, much bigger than what we have.
So it's more than the equivalent of your shareholding in Porgera.
And so if you look at Milne Bay on its own, that's that. And then you look at New Ireland province. Again, you have two hubs that can both produce over 500,000 ounces a year.
So what have you been able to achieve, or what are you hoping to achieve in the coming year to consolidate some of those projects? What is your plan of action?
Before the end of this year, I'm hoping to bed down those our strategies in those particular two areas. And I know that we will achieve that. And so next year will be a matter of progressing them, this project. So, this is 21st of November, and we have a month to go. So I'm hoping that within this, we will progress this, our discussions to a state by the Sydney conference, or before the end of the year, to say that we have a deal in place, let's sign it off, and then next year will be a matter of just getting to do the work. And so I'm hoping to get that one. And there's some other exciting sort of immediate cash flow opportunities that we are trying to get in, and I'm hoping that when I'm in Brisbane next week, that I will tie up those deals.
Okay, great.
I cannot mention those ones too, but it is immediate cash flow generating opportunities.
Okay.
And our financing talks on the potential financiers on those projects are very encouraging. They are just standing by.
Okay. Finally, before we finish, a quick update, if you wouldn't mind, just on the gold refinery project, which was discussed earlier this year. What's the current status of that project?
Okay, our pre-feasibility has been completed, and we have identified that we can run this 100% PNG owned, operated, built, operated in PNG by Papua New Guineans, and if we need specialist skills, then of course that's available on the markets. We don't need to change any laws to operate that. And so ours is to identify the sources of gold, right, to feed the refinery.
Yes.
And so this is a process that we are going now. And the other one is the marketing of. So the refinery, the sourcing of the gold is different from a marketing. So we will have a marketing vehicle as well associated with that. So right now we are in full feasibility study phase.
Right.
And that's run by Binco Sun Engineering.
Oh, yes.
And we are hoping that by March, April next year, that we will complete the full feasibility, and then we'll present that one to the government of the day. In terms of understanding the alluvial, because that's a sector that we want to tie,
Yes.
structure and formalize.
Yes.
So we are doing studies into that. How are we gonna formalize, structure the alluvial sector and becoming a formal sector, having that goal to the refinery.
Yes.
Structure, establish, proper family businesses or whatever, that they can also pay taxes to the government, because that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of leakage to the economy.
And a lot of small businesses involved in that sector.
That's right.
Yeah.
A lot.